Hi there, and welcome to homeworkingclub.com's Quick Tips. In this first episode, I'd like to take you through a really good tried and tested method that I've been using for years to keep track of my personal business and career goals. It's really simple, it doesn't take very much time, and I find this really helps me ensure that I'm doing the things that I want to do, the things that contribute towards a long-term plan for my personal and my business life. I don't remember when I started doing this. I think it was based on an idea I must have read in a book or something many years ago. But I've been doing this, following this exact process at least 4 times a year for several years now. And I do it both during bad times and good times. I find it's very useful at times when I'm feeling overwhelmed and not really sure what to do next. But it's also very useful when you're feeling inspired and absolutely full of motivation so that you keep yourself on the right tracks and concentrate on the right things. So I'm going to do this live for you. Now, I'm going to do it in a Word document, but there's nothing to stop you using old-fashioned pens and pencils and paper if you prefer. Just for the purposes of this video, it's far easier to show you me doing it on a Word document. So you just need to start off with a very simple page with 3 columns in it. And on the left-hand column, I'm going to put short term. Now, these are short-term, immediate and ongoing goals. These are the things you've absolutely got to do. The things that you may have to do these things, that you may have to do some of these things to meet your commitments, or they may be the things you're just most focused on getting done over the next few months. And when I say a few months, that's usually how long I do this for. I do it every quarter, so for the next 3 months. So I'm recording this at the start of January 2021, and so once I've actually recorded this, I'm going to be doing this exact process for myself. So yeah, for the short-term ones, these are immediate or ongoing things. In the middle column, we're going to go for medium-term goals. Now, these aren't necessarily as clear a priority as the stuff in the left-hand column, but these are things I definitely want to be doing over the next 3 months. So I'm just going to put here next 3 months. And then in the final column, I'm going to put long term. Now, these are things that might not necessarily get done. This is more the sort of nice to have column. These are the things that I'm going to be doing when I find myself with a little bit of free time, or if I decide to dedicate a weekend to some work or something like these. So these I would describe as desirable or get started. Now, what you tend to find is over time, these things shuffle around. You might end up the next time you do this process moving something from a long-term goal into a medium goal, or maybe even that will become a main priority and it will get moved over to the short-term goals. So to make this a little easier to understand, it's very simple, but I'm going to just put a few of my own goals in to give you an idea of how I divide things up. So I'm a blogger, I have homeworkingclub.com as my main website, and I'm currently in the process of launching another site called tinylittlechanges.com. And right now, that's really reached the top of my list. It's almost ready to launch. So, launching Tiny Little Changes by mid-January, that's a huge priority for me right now. So that's going in the short-term goals. There are also a number of really important product reviews I need to do for another one of my sites. So that's a massive priority as well. So, complete important product reviews is going to go in that column. Now, another example for this one is that I'm on a big health kick at the moment. I've been losing weight, I've quit drinking, and various other things. And that remains a massive priority to me. And I don't want to get too overwhelmed with work and forget the self-care part of my life. So ongoing weight loss and exercise is going in that column. Now, that's not everything I'm going to put in my short-term goals, but for the purposes of this video, that gives you an idea of the kind of things that I'm going to put in the short-term column. Now, in the medium-term column, these are projects that will definitely be ticking over in the background. They are non-negotiable, but they might not be quite as big a priority as the stuff I'm going to put in the left-hand column. So, for example, I have a big content refresh project underway, which means updating all of the articles on my websites, and that's something that's going to be continuing to tick over in the background. So I'm going to put continue with content refresh. And I'm going to spell it correctly as well. And I also have a podcast. And right now, because I have these big priorities, I'm not going to be able to be podcasting every single week. but I want to keep up the momentum with the podcast, and so I'm putting it here to make sure that I don't just abandon it. So I'm going to put keep up podcast momentum, and that gives you an idea of the kind of things I want to put in medium term. Now, the long term are more, as I've said, nice to have things. And I'm currently learning a couple of things. I'm learning how to use Adobe Creative Suite, and I'd love to find spare time to do that. But I have work, I have money to earn. It can't go in the short term column. It'd be lovely if it could, but so I'm going to put Adobe Learning and Training in here. And similarly, I've started to learn Ableton Live and do music production, but it's very much a hobby. It doesn't make me any money, so continue Ableton Learning. And I also create and sell courses. I have a freelancing course out at the moment called Freelance Kickstarter, and at some point during 2021, I would like to launch my next course. But it's not a massive priority for the next 3 months. It's not a massive priority, as I say, but it is a long-term goal. And so I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to put start to plan next course. So it would be good if when I get to the next time I do this, that I've actually started to make some headway on it. And then perhaps the course will go into the medium-term column then, or perhaps even the short-term column. I won't know for another 3 months. So this should give you an idea of the basics of how you do it. One very important thing I would say is you don't want to put any more than 3 to 6 or possibly 7 things in each column. Otherwise, it just becomes overwhelming. You're going to feel like you've got this enormous checklist. This is a high-level document just to keep you on track. It's not a to-do list of everything that you want to do, but it's just ensuring that you keep on track and you prioritize things correctly. And it's very pleasing if a month down the road you look at this and you think, you know what, yep, I'm ticking off all those short-term things. The medium things are in progress. And you know what, I've actually found time to do some of the long-term things as well. That feels good when you manage that. So a second important thing is that I wouldn't suggest that having watched this video, you rush out and create this document and do it straight away. I would say you want a lot of thinking time first to make sure you've put the things you genuinely want to do and genuinely need to do in all of these 3 columns. They won't resemble mine in any way. Perhaps you're job hunting and one of your short-term priorities will be to keep your boss happy and to keep the money coming in the short term, whereas in the medium term you would like to have arranged 3 interviews yourself for your new dream job or applied for X number of freelance or remote working positions. Your goals, your personal goals, your career goals will differ from mine entirely, but the process of doing this to keep yourself on track applies and can work for absolutely anyone, regardless of what stage they're in with their career, with their personal life, or whatever. So don't rush to create the document. Give yourself some really good thinking time. And when you feel like you're getting to the point it's starting to crystallize in your head, that's the time to get it down on paper. I often go through this process at the end of a holiday. If I've had a good amount of downtime, a good amount of thinking time. As it happens, I'm recording this at the start of January 2021. You might have had some time off over the festive season. So this may be the absolute perfect time to do this. So hopefully you found that helpful. I'd just like to say that I've gone into far, far more detail about this goal setting process, as well as dozens of other things, in my course, Freelance Kickstarter. If you are interested in moving into freelance work, it's something you might want to check out, and I will put a link to it below this video on YouTube. And so all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching this video. It's the first one I've done, so apologies for any hesitation and stumbling. Hopefully I will get more proficient at doing them as I record more of them. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a like or a subscribe. I'm only just getting started on the YouTube platform, so every like and subscribe is precious and very much appreciated. And I hope to see you back here for one of my future Home Working Club quick tips videos. Please come and visit us also at homeworkingclub.com for lots more free content. Thanks for listening.